Marvel Ultimate Big Brother, My Life as Spider-Man's Secret Weapon. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 51, Don't be afraid, I'm here. Fang Bing comforted softly, pulled her to sit down. Meditate, meditate. Believe me, I won't let it destroy our home, let alone let it hurt you and Aunt May little Peter. Sky listened to Fang Bing's confident and firm words. My heart couldn't help but settle down. Listening to Fang Bing's words, he began to meditate with his eyes closed. Fang Bing stood in front of the window, listening to the movement outside. Although he comforted Sky when, it seemed so confident. But in fact, there is no bottom in the heart. There was no real hand-to-head. He couldn't budget that his means would have any effect on Abomination. But there is no concern about security. Even if you can't fight to death. A mage who can open portals, who can stay if you want to go. And he didn't want to make a move. He was waiting for Dr. Banner to appear. In Fang Bing's memory, Abomination appeared soon after. The Hulk will come out and fight him. Uniform it. So before the Hulk comes out, this Abomination did not provoke his own words. Fang Bing planned to watch like this. Sure enough, it didn't take long. When he hated that there was still 1 block away from Fang Bing's house, a helicopter appeared in midair. On board the plane were General Ross and his daughter Betty. And Dr. Banner, the Hulk who is not yet transformed. Open the door and let me down, no one can stop it but me. Dr. Banner said with a weak look. But as soon as he finished speaking, General Ross's daughter Betty immediately pulled him with a nervous look. No, you are likely to fall to your death if you jump now. Betty's fears were not unfounded. Dr. Banner had just been injected with a drug that permanently inhibited transformation. Jump straight from the plane. If the transformation is not successful, you may be killed by a fall. And this agent was injected by Dr. Banner himself. The reason is that he wants to live the life of an ordinary person. Hulk in the body, so that he simply cannot live a normal life. Obviously, girlfriend Betty is so beautiful and alluring. But he couldn't do anything to her. Because once his heart beats faster, will unconsciously transform into the Hulk. If at that time, too excited, directly turned into the Hulk. The fate of that girlfriend can be imagined. So he and Betty have a good relationship though. But because of the Hulk in the body, can't be together like normal people. I'm not going to die. Banner looked at the Abomination below and through another car. Finally couldn't help it. One pulled open the helicopter door. Jumped off. Banner. Betty cried heartbroken on the plane. General Ross watched silently from the sidelines. But because he has already been estranged from his daughter, he has no comfort. Moreover, the root of all this now is himself. If it weren't for him turning on the study of the super soldier serum again, Dr. Banner wouldn't accidentally become the Hulk either. The Abomination below will not appear either. My daughter is even less sad now. But now it's all too late. He only hoped that Banner, who jumped off, did not die. Can help him clean up this mess in front of him. When Dr. Banner jumped from the helicopter, Abomination had already looked up at the sky. It recognized its old enemy. Hulk. Roared. Get ready for a showdown with the Hulk. Syllable. Dr. Banner from thousands of meters in the air, directly in human form, fell to Abomination. Smashed a hole in the ground in front of it. Well? He's dead? Abomination looked at the hole in front of him. At first, there were some doubts. But soon it was like a great enemy. Hulk. Abomination roared the name of the Hulk. Because this is its inner demon, it was the root cause of his choice to become abhorrent. With a roar of Abomination, the ground exploded. The Hulk jumped out of the hole below the ground. A heavy punch hit Abomination's jaw. Flew tens of meters away. But soon Abomination stood up again. 2 huge monsters are like this in the bustling downtown area of New York. You punched me, and I kicked it. Cars were thrown around like bricks in their hands. Innocent passers-by are even more vulnerable like ants. It breaks when touched. High-rise buildings, houses, villas. Where are they fighting? Everywhere is a ruin. The ground is broken, there were explosions and screams everywhere. New York City seemed to be in hell at this point. And a block away, Fang Bing was also watching the battle. Through his super hearing. The control of the battlefield was even more accurate than what he had seen with his own eyes. With Abomination fighting the Hulk, he also had a general understanding of the combat effectiveness of the two. I have some numbers in my mind. But he still didn't want to make a move. Because it's none of his business. In this world, the only people he cares about now are Aunt May, little Peter, and of course Sky. The rest are dead or alive. What to do with him? Even if you have the ability, why do you have to protect those who have nothing to do with you? Fang Bing always thought. Life is in the world, it is enough to be responsible for your own life. Not to mention, those people outside were not killed by him. There is no need for the virgin at all. In the original universe, Aunt May was not later, because she was too virgin, advised Spider-Man to be nosy. Instead, she ended up killing herself. Besides, he knew that the Hulk would eventually defeat Abomination. Because Abomination is similar to Hulk power defense. But it doesn't have the Hulk's talent for getting stronger and stronger, the angrier. Not to mention the Hulk's resilience. So the defeat of Abomination is doomed. On the S.H.I.E.L.D. space carrier. Team USA Steve Rogers was pacing back and forth in front of the bald chief. Fury, just let me go, innocent people are being harmed there. Nick. Fury looked at him helplessly. Reach out and project real-time live footage onto the big screen. I didn't let you go, because I didn't want you to die. See for yourself. Nick. Fury turned and left. But the American team was dumbfounded. What kind of monsters are these two? Lifting a car yourself requires a lot of force. But these two monsters. You can throw a car around like a toy car with one hand. That punch and kick, it's just shattered. Team America finally understood why Nick. Fury was adamant not to let him go on a mission. Special orders were also given for this. He was not allowed to leave the space carrier on any flying vehicle. The bald chief is really afraid that he will die. Even if he has 6 times the physique super soldier serum. I'm afraid in the hands of these two monsters, I can't last a minute, it will be hammered into mashed meat. Episode 52, Fang Bing originally thought that there was nothing to do with him tonight. But it turns out. He thought too much. Whether it's Dr. Banner's transformed Hulk or Abomination. After the two monsters fought, has completely lost his mind. Their fighting range is getting bigger. Pedal and jump between tall buildings with brute force. Punch hard. It didn't take long to hit Fang Bing's neighborhood. Originally, Fang Bing was still thinking. As long as they don't tear down their own and Aunt May's house. Just ignore them. But the accident soon happened. With the two monsters hammering in the air again. The Hulk was abhorred by a sudden kick. Kicked out. It smashed straight into Fang Bing's villa. Grass. Fang Bing scolded speechlessly. Standing inside the villa, one swipe with one hand. A large round orange-yellow portal appears between the Hulk and the villa. Blocked the direction of the Hulk's fall. The Hulk reacted at the last minute, though. Want to reach out and grab the edge of the portal. But it still didn't have time. So. Fell into the portal. Instantly disappeared with the portal. Betty, her girlfriend who had been watching the live video below on the plane, exclaimed, Banner. General Ross was also stunned. He had also learned about the appearance of a magician in New York in intelligence before. But I didn't think about it, the magician actually appeared at this time. I don't know if the Hulk that turned Banner into is gone. No Hulk. So what to do with the Abomination below? And the American team watching this scene on the space carrier. Unlike the reaction of General Ross and others, when he saw the portal appear, the haze and powerlessness in my heart suddenly dispersed. Because he knew it meant that the magician who had drunk and eaten meat with him had struck. He knew best that Fang Bing was magical. Seeing Fang Bing shot, he felt that the monster below must be finished. A magician who can turn a Kuan-style fighter into rose petals can't solve a monster that only brute force? Although the American team has a big misunderstanding of the ability of the other ice. But after Fang Bing successfully banished the Hulk, I also have confidence in myself. Even if he doesn't have confidence, he has no choice now, so he can only go out to fight. Because of the Abomination to see the Hulk disappear over the villa. It's even more grumpy. Hulk. It's mine. After roaring, he rushed straight to the villa. Since the Hulk has disappeared above this villa. Then tear down this house. You're sure to find the Hulk. Fang Bing tried to open a portal in front of Abomination Run. But he was hated and directly held the portal border. Not stepping into it at all. And the portal once cut the Iron Overlord into 2 ends of the cutting force. But it only cut a wound in the skin of Abomination. It is not possible to cut it into pieces. Then the portal was torn under the wrath of Abomination. The magic energy is quickly depleted, disappeared in place. Fang Bing had already anticipated this situation. After all, the portal is just an auxiliary spell. The creation was not intended to be lethal. The kind of cutting force that comes with it, it's just an unintentional collateral injury. When the other party's physique is tough enough, it's also normal for portals to be weak to cut. But Fang Bing had another way. He can solve it without going out. If you go out, your identity may be exposed. There must be many, many forces out there now. Abomination saw the portal disappear in front of him. I want to continue towards the villa. But the next moment, in front of it, another portal appeared on the ground. It fell in with 1 foot. Fang Bing saw that the plan was successful, and immediately revoked the spell and closed the portal. Only to find that the portal could not be closed. It turned out that Abomination grabbed the edge of the portal with one hand. There is no full entry into the portal. Stuck between 2 spaces. Because of the Abomination, the portal cannot disappear. Soon, immense Abomination. With a lift of the arm, he escaped from the portal. Fang Bing felt that he couldn't be lazy this time. If you don't solve this thing, the villa I just bought will definitely not be saved. I could only take out my night clothes and change them. Wrapped tightly. A portal was opened and he came to Abomination. How about discussing something? If you fuck off now, I won't kill you. Fang Bing held the fire in his heart and said coldly. Abomination hammered his chest and roared, Hulk. It's mine, it is not a senseless monster. His name was Bronsky and he was an elite soldier under General Ross. Previously in the hunt for Dr. Banner, the mission fails because Dr. Banner transforms into the Hulk. A fierce thirst for strength arose in the heart. Voluntarily received a super soldier serum injection from General Ross. After transforming into a super soldier, go challenge the Hulk again. He was ravaged again, and the bones of his whole body were hammered to pieces. After being rescued, he was injected with super serum twice, but the negative emotions in my heart were amplified by the side effects of super serum. Becoming more and more manic and crazy. In the end, the crazy choice was infused with the serum of the Hulk, causing himself to become a complete monster who hates this. Ultimately, he was originally just a good soldier, but was pushed into the abyss step by step by General Ross. But Fang Bing didn't have time to pity and hate now, because it has already pounced on itself. Fang Bing wanted to test his melee combat ability. Just rushed up. Then he didn't feel very good. Although the hatred of fighting skills is not as good as his own. Punch it yourself 10 times. It can only touch itself with a punch. But punch it yourself 10 times, but it doesn't seem to hurt or itch for it. Even if he has a super physique LV7 plus divine power LV1. The superimposed power has far surpassed the elite warriors of Asgard. But it does no real harm to hatred. But the punch that was occasionally hit by Abomination, but directly knocked him out. Although it felt like nothing hurt. But it also felt like a hammer. The body was shaken and did not feel good. Worthy of being a monster that can fight the Hulk. Fang Bing understood the gap. Knowing that he couldn't solve this Abomination by fighting closely. Get back on your feet. A strange smile appeared. In that case, then don't blame me. Episode 53, Melee combat is only a small part of Fang Bing's abilities. When the test is finished. After knowing your melee fighting level. Fang Bing laughed. I looked at the wounds all over Abomination's body. Some of those wounds were beaten by the Hulk. Some had just been cut out by portals. He used healing powers against the Abomination that rushed in front of him. Oh. Where can the Abomination of the mind that is already incomplete be able to withstand this stimulus? On the spot, he froze in place and made a strange roar. The huge ugly body also had some kind of strange reaction. Snapping lay on the ground and trembled. Fang Bing stopped healing powers. Take the plane forward, face the giant monster who doesn't know whether to struggle or enjoy. Turn on neurotoxins. A steady stream of deadly toxins are injected into its body from abhorrent wounds. In the blink of an eye, the wounds of Abomination all began to blacken. But it is worthy of being a monster with a physique comparable to that of the Hulk. Fang Bing can instantly poison the neurotoxins of any ordinary creature into its body. But it could not be poisoned immediately. I saw the body of Abomination tremble even more. A weak roar began to come out of his mouth. It has realized that something is wrong. I want to stand up again and fight back. But how could Fang Bing give it this opportunity? Poison in the left hand. His right hand was treated for the other wounds on his body. Abomination began to tremble strangely again. After playing enough, I pressed my hand to the ground. Activated the ability to convert matter. The concrete floor began to disappear. A huge vibranium cage with an open door appeared in place. Fang Bing kicked Abomination into the door. Another material conversion was initiated. Changed the shape of the vibranium cage. Seal the door of the cage directly. Fang Bing was ready to raise Abomination as a pet. Feed it 10 meals a day. Sooner or later, it can be extracted to its body, which is not inferior to the Hulk's divine power and physique. Although it doesn't have the kind on the Hulk, the more angry, the greater the ability to be strong and resilient. But Fang Bing didn't want the ability to affect emotions. I didn't want to turn green. So abhorrence is currently for him. It is the best choice for acquiring abilities. As for abhorrence, obedience is not good. It will not accept such a thing as feeding honestly. Fang Bing was not worried at all. After all, if he hadn't made a move today, abomination to the end. It will also be kept as pets by the mages of Karmatage. Also by the old king mage, take it to the ring to fight fake punches, to earn money. This shows that abomination has a talent for being a good pet. After closing the abomination, Fang Bing began to heal its injuries through the cage. Removes toxicity from the body. Although the abomination will not be poisoned for a while. But after a long time of poisoning, 80% will be finished. After all, it has little resilience. Originally abhorred after being locked up in a vibranium cage, it soon eased up. Began to struggle and roar in the cage. When Fang Bing started treatment, the abomination in the cage soon quieted down. There was a strange sound again. And I don't know if it's an illusion. Convenience always feels that the way it looks at itself is also wrong. Just when Fang Bing was busy here, the heavens directly hit the ground quickly. General Ross and Hulk's girlfriend Betty get off the plane. The armed forces who were originally hiding, orders were also received. Again in a Humvee, the scene was surrounded. Where did you get Banner? Is he alive? Betty just got off the helicopter and walked towards Fang Bing and asked eagerly. General Ross looked at the abomination in the cage, stopped her daughter from stepping forward, solemnly opened his mouth and shouted at Fang Bing, "Magician, this monster is an inherent asset belonging to the military, please give it to us, and Dr. Banner, please tell us his whereabouts as well." As General Ross spoke, the armed forces guarding the surrounding area also raised their guns. Aimed at Fang Bing. There is a great readiness to shoot if you don't agree with a word. Fang Bing glanced at General Ross strangely. I thought this product is a fool. Why give you the pet you have struggled to catch? Lee ignored them. Open the portal directly on the ground beneath your feet. Fell into the portal with the vibranium cage and disappeared. The armed men around looked at each other. Not sure what to do. Check. Find out who he is for me. Be sure to get Bronsky back, General Ross ordered angrily. He rebooted the Super Soldier Serum project with two of the most successful experimental subjects. It's Dr. Banner and Abomination. Although something went wrong. But he had also seen the strength of the two monsters. He realized that victory was at hand. So he wasn't ready to give up on the project. Instead, he wants to get back both the Hulk and the Abomination. Based on two monsters. Continue experimenting. Improve recipes. Finally, the goal of mass manufacturing super soldiers is achieved. And now, both Hulk and Banner disappeared because of the sorcerer who suddenly appeared. Only by finding this magician can you find them. Fang Bing stepped out of the portal with the vibranium cage. It has come to the bottom of the deep sea. He found a suitable place. It began to transform the soil on the bottom of the sea under his feet. Not for a while. An vibranium cell beneath the floor of the sea appeared. The cells are also tens of cubic meters in size. The surrounding walls are all made of vibranium. There are no doors. The interior is also separated from the sea. Fang Bing opened a portal and entered the inside of the cell. Locked up the abomination. This is the habitat he temporarily prepared for abomination. To make sure it doesn't get spotted here. He came outside again. A layer of lead soil was converted above the vibranium cell. Make sure that even if a submarine passes by, no anomaly will be detected. After feeling foolproof. Only then did Fang Bing open the portal and return home. Sky had long since finished meditating. I've been waiting for him for a long time. See him back, hurriedly stepped forward and said, "It's not good, the nearby neighborhoods have been blocked by the army." Episode 54, Fang Bing smiled when he heard this. It's okay, I didn't reveal my identity, and they'll leave later. Sure enough, as Fang Bing said, it's not dawn yet. The troops, who had found nothing nearby, all withdrew. But what Fang Bing didn't expect was. General Ross is not a man who gives up easily. Let the army go, just to eliminate fishing boats and panic. When he returned to base. Immediately let the intelligence services begin to analyze everything in full force. Trying to find the identity of the magician. General Ross also personally contacted S.H.I.E.L.D. Ask S.H.I.E.L.D. if the sorcerer's identity is known. Nick. Fury knew that Fang Bing must not be offended. Nothing was told to him. The intelligence department soon found out when Iron Man was previewing at the bar before, asked the magician for help. In the end, he was indeed saved by a portal. And sent someone to look for Tor. Stark asked. But Iron Man still owes Fang Bing 2 lives. How could it be possible to betray Fang Bing? Directly sent away the people from the military. Until 2 days later. General Ross's intelligence was analyzed. Only then did I find a breakthrough point. General, we found out that when the magician first appeared on Manhattan Avenue, he killed the person saved by the Iron Overlord, and he was also in the villa where the magician once again protected the night before. It's probably not a coincidence. General Ross took the file. Take a closer look. After a while. Not a coincidence. The magician must be related to the 4 people in that car, General Ross said with a joyful look on his face. Send someone to bring those 4 back for interrogation. Several military vehicles were filled with soldiers. Heading towards Fang Bing's home in Queens, New York. Jingle bells. The phone rang. It woke up Fang Bing, who was meditating. He picked up his phone and looked at it. It was a call from the bald director. Fang Bing, there is bad news. General Ross has discovered that you and your family have contacted the magician, and the capture of your army is already on the way. Fang Bing frowned when he heard this. How did he know? It won't be news from S.H.I.E.L.D., right? The bald chief quickly explained. Don't underestimate General Ross. The military has independent intelligence services and has its own secret agents. It's not hard to find some clues. Fang Bing had a headache. I feel like there's something going on here. It's not that he's afraid of General Ross. Just because once the identity is exposed, it means that the former leisurely life will be gone forever. Do you have a way to get him to dismiss the idea? Fang Bing asked the bald chief on the phone. The bald chief was overjoyed. Know that the opportunity is coming. Unless you give him back those 2 monsters. Even so, with what I know about General Ross, he will not easily give up his curiosity about you as a magician. Unless you officially join S.H.I.E.L.D., I have the right to refuse all unreasonable demands from the military. Fang Bing knew what the bald chief was paying attention to. Too lazy to take care of him. Hung up the phone directly. He was ready to deal with it himself. Since General Ross wanted to find out the identity of the magician so much. Just let him know. Then Fang Bing sat at home waiting for General Ross's men to arrive. 10 minutes later. Several Humvees drove into the block. Fang Bing saw that the target had appeared. A portal opened directly in front of the car. Frightened, the driver quickly stepped on the brakes. Fang Bing walked out of the portal. 3 punches and 2 feet against the rain of bullets. Knock all the soldiers unconscious. Then a huge portal opened. Directly through the soldier and the Humvee vehicle into it. And the portal Fang Bing chose to drive directly next to General Ross. In military bases. Look at the huge portal that suddenly appeared in front of you. General Ross, who has not yet figured out what happened. He was almost killed by several Humvees that fell out of the portal. After tumbling to avoid sudden danger. General Ross just stood up and wanted to give orders. Only to find that the masked magician appeared in front of him. Ichigo grabbed his neck and lifted him up. I heard you're looking for me? Soldiers around who reacted. See the general being controlled. They all raised the guns in their hands and aimed them at Fang Bing, who suddenly appeared. But in the next second, he was all knocked down by the thunderbolt current emitted by Fang Bing. General Ross struggled with his legs in midair. Feeling like you can't breathe. Life began to slowly leave him. Finally, before he was about to die, Fang Bing let go of his hand. Threw him to the ground. Cough. Cough. General Ross coughed violently on the ground. Take a big breath of air. Wait for the slowdown. Just wanted to talk. But the magician before meeting opened a portal again. On the other side of the door turned out to be his daughter, Betty. Fang Bing stretched out his hand and walked through the portal. One grabbed Betty. Dumped to General Ross. I heard you want to interrogate my family? Fang Bing pulled down his mask and asked again. This is what General Ross and Betty only discovered. It turned out that the magician was just a young man less than 20 years old. And General Ross, who has seen the data, quickly recognized. The magician in front of him was Fang Bing, the owner of that villa. It was on Manhattan Avenue that one of the 4 people sitting in the car. He also immediately understood why Fang Bing came to him. Don't hurt my daughter, I'll never go to your family again. People who can do generals, it can't be a mindless stunned man. Knowing how to judge the situation is a necessary basic quality. Fang Bing nodded. Then now it's just you and me who have a personal grudge. A portal opened with a wave of his hand. On the other side of the door is the vibranium cell under the sea where Abomination is. You want to get my pet? Then give it back to you. Roar. Episode 55. After watching Abomination emerge from the portal, Fang Bing left the military base. Let this monster wreak havoc inside the military base. Admiral Ross saw that Fang Bing actually put his hatred directly into the base. Hurriedly began to organize troops to try to capture. But if the military has the ability to catch Abomination, why did the Hulk make a move 2 nights ago? Their weapons can't hurt this invulnerable monster at all. Countless dead and wounded. Military facilities, tank army vehicles, aircraft. It was also quickly destroyed by angry hatred. And at first I realized that it was not good. He immediately pulled his daughter into the shelter of General Ross. Watch your own military base being destroyed. The heart is dripping blood, but helpless. At this point, he finally realized. Fang Bing, the magician. Not a nice gentleman. It's the devil who has returned from hell. I also recognized reality. No to hate this monster. Not something he can control. The upheaval at the military base soon reached the president's ears. General Ross soon received a severe rebuke. And order him to solve this monster as quickly as possible. Prevent Abomination from running out of military bases. Re-entering the city threatens the population. Otherwise, he, the general, will be summarily removed from office and tried by a military court. General Ross knew he had no other way to go. So far, he knows of only 2 people who can solve the Abomination. Dr. Banner and Fang Bing, the magician. And Dr. Banner has been in the portal since he entered the portal. So far, there is no news. So he was left with only one option. General Ross picked up the satellite phone, silently dialed Fang Bing's phone number, which the intelligence department had just found. 2 hours later, Fang Bing opened the portal again and came back. See the already devastated military bases. For the destructive power of Abomination, I feel very satisfied. Under General Ross's whispered pleading, he promised to take away the Abomination again. To this end, General Ross paid for a Kuan fighter. There are also research materials on super soldier serum. The Kuan-type fighter is Fang Bing's replacement. He had also been given the ability to fly airplanes before. For the Kuan-type fighter, the most familiar can drive away. The research data of super serum is not useful at present, but if Fang Bing can find a reliable scientist in the future, developed a super serum without side effects, it's also a good thing. Fang Bing originally had no intention of giving up hating this pet. He put the Abomination in front of the base. The subsequent development has already been predicted. He knows nothing but himself. The current military simply cannot find anyone else to subdue the Abomination. Not even Iron Man. Because Iron Man hasn't developed anti-Hulk armor yet. The next thing is simple. Fang Bing, who had already been hated for a while. The light car once again sent it to the vibranium cell under the sea. Things are behind for a while. Fang Bing lived a leisurely and flat life again. Sky when you're idle and bored. Life is also good. But what gave him a headache was. Own pets abhor. I haven't eaten yet. It's been days. Fang Bing threw some food in. But it doesn't seem to have the slightest sense of smell. There was no response at all. Just punched and kicked the vibranium cell every once in a while. Trying to jailbreak. Now Fang Bing was impatient. He was ready to come hard. I opened the door and came to the vibranium cell. After a set of poison treatment combination punches against Abomination. Put it in a cage. The material conversion ability was then used on the cage. Make Abomination fixed in a vibranium cage unable to struggle. Reaching out and breaking open its mouth. A large chunk of the made tender and juicy beef was stuffed into its throat. Close your mouth. Wait for it to swallow. Fang Bing had already thought about it. If so, it doesn't swallow yet. I stabbed him with an iron rod. It's fine. What made Fang Bing happy was, when Abomination touched the beef in his mouth twice with his mouth. Swallowed it directly. After eating, he even looked at him expectantly. Fang Bing understood this. It turns out that this product really has no sense of smell. I had never eaten what I had been fed before. It's because it can't smell what it is. But its palate is still there. After the mouth tastes the food made by the gourmet generator. Just fell in love. After all, it is a gourmet temptation that God can't resist. Confuse. It's a muscular cargo. How could it possibly stand it? When it swallows the beef. The system also gets a list of its capabilities. Abomination. Super Physique LV9, its body is invincible, and missiles are indelible. Divine Power LV5, the power is infinite, 5 times that of the elite warriors of Asgard. Mentally retarded LV9, its intelligence is severely damaged, only 2 years old human level. Devil Muscle LV8, his muscle density is extremely high, and his defense is strong, which can make all the bodybuilders in the world ashamed of themselves. Melee Combat LV8, it used to be an elite fighter, and its melee fighting skills are extremely superb. Fang Bing looked at the list of abomination abilities, only to understand why its vitality is so strong. Not only does he have a super physique that is 2 levels higher than his own, there is also the ability of the Devil Muscle, which is a simple ability to improve defense. No wonder I can't fight in close combat. And the reason why it is more powerful than itself, Fang Bing also found it. The reason is that in addition to the strength bonus brought by its super physique, like himself, he also possesses pure power enhancing divine power. And it is still a divine power that is 4 levels higher than himself. No wonder I was uncomfortable with a punch at that time. After seeing the ability to abomination, Fang Bing could guess. The Hulk should have these abilities too. It's just that there may be more about anger becoming stronger and the ability to restore the body. Extract. Episode 56, Fang Bing nodded in satisfaction. Not bad. He originally had divine power, and now he had obtained a higher level. After the fusion is superimposed. Although the physique is not as good as the abhorrent, but pure power should be on par with it. Even a little stronger than that. Fang Bing released the inside of the cage with abomination. I want to test my current combat effectiveness. But the unexpected happened. Originally, he thought that after the abomination came out, we'll continue to find their own unending battles. But I didn't expect it. Abomination came out and sat on the ground. Looking at Fang Bing, he looked honest. In his mouth, he still chanted, meat. Meat. Boy. That's it? I already knew this virtue of yours. What a toss. Stuff something into your mouth early. No, it doesn't have to be so troublesome. Get up and fight, I'll give you meat. Fang Bing said to the abomination like a child. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Hungry. Meat, it hasn't eaten in days. It seems that I am really hungry. Fang Bing summoned the food maker. Start manufacturing grilled steaks in bulk. It is estimated that after eating 100 pounds. Just burped. Boy. Fang Bing can be regarded as knowing why Lao Wang is the Grand Mage of Karmatage. It's time to take it to fake punches. Don't think about how to earn more money. I can't afford to raise this big foodie. Karmatage has to be eaten poor by it. After all, Karmatage is mage. I don't have the ability to make food out of thin air. In the future, you will be called Xiao Huang. Hating this name is too ugly and will frighten the children. Fang Bing touched his chin and pondered. Gave it a new name. Although its predecessor was the elite warrior Bronsky. But Bulangsky has long ceased to exist. After the mutation, now whether it is the soul or this monster-like body, all have nothing to do with the original Bronsky. It except for the obsession with the Hulk. Not even the memories of Bronsky before remained. So come up with a new name. It's also a new life. In the end, Fang Bing did not experiment with Xiao Huang's newly acquired power. Because Xiao Huang refused to attack again, the one in front of me has abused it several times, now give it back to the people who eat good. Fang Bing had no choice but to leave it some more food. He left the cell under the sea. Jingle bells. Fang Bing had just returned home. The phone rang. After answering the phone, it was the bald chief who called. Honorable Lord Magician, can you tell me where Dr. Banner has gone? Hey? Dr. Banner? Hulk? Fang Bing remembered this. It seems that there is another person who has been forgotten by himself. Where did the portal he opened come from? A few days ago. The Hulk that Dr. Banner turned into fell into the portal on the roof. After passing through the portal, fell directly into the sky into a white glacier. After falling headlong, smashed through the ice and fell into the freezing seawater. The Hulk struggled for a few minutes turning in the icy waters. Finally slowly quieted down. Changed back to that gentle Dr. Banner. Laboriously crawled out of the ice hole. What fac? What the hell is this place? Dr. Banner, who was cold and hungry and wore only a pair of torn pants. I looked at the endless glacier. Can't tell where you are. But in order to survive, he can only walk step by step in one direction. Whenever he was freezing to death, The Hulk in the body will appear automatically, transform into the Hulk to continue your life. I stayed up like this for a few days. Until a Kuan-type fighter stopped in front of him. He ran over as if he had met his relatives. Successfully escaped from here. Arrived at S.H.I.E.L.D. From the mouth of the bald chief in front of him, when I learned that I had been wandering in the wilderness near Iceland these days. Dr. Banner vowed, never again in my life will you ever go to that place in Iceland. That's right, and the Antarctic and the Arctic do not go either. The most important thing is that I'll meet that magician later. You must not enter his portal again. That's it. With Fang Bing's unintentional help. In order to repay the bald bureau chief, Fang Bing reported the favor in advance, told the location on the opposite side of the portal. The Avengers that the bald chief has been planning. Got Dr. Banner in advance. Beyond Earth. Asgard got online. The majestic palace is full of laughter today. Because today is the day when the new king of Asgard ascends the throne. The new king who will sit on the throne is Odin, the son of Odin, beloved by the Asgardians. Thor, the god of thunder. He conquered the 9 realms and was mighty in all directions. Again Odin's eldest son, becoming the new king of Asgard, no one questioned. Thor thought the same. He thinks he is destined to ascend to this throne today. But the unexpected happened. Just when the enthronement ceremony was about to be completed. An alert came from Odin's treasury. Several ice giants from Jotunheim infiltrated the treasure house. Want to steal Odin's treasured ice treasure. Although the infiltrators were quickly eliminated by the destroyers guarding the treasure house. But the enthronement ceremony was interrupted. Thor, the god of thunder, ruined his enthronement ceremony because of the frost giant. Make somebody's blood boil. At the instigation of his younger brother Loki. Recklessly broke in, Jotunheim, the land of ice giants, wants revenge. As a result, the war between Asgard and the ice giant was rekindled. Sealed with divine power by Odin, the father of the gods. Teleported through the rainbow bridge space, banished to the earth. And with it was thrown to the earth, and Thor's hammer. Mjolnir. Jingle bells. Episode 57, suddenly received Nick. Fury phone, Fang Bing held his chin and pondered. Thor's Mjolnir was thrown down by Odin? Neither must have been banished to earth by his father. Would you like to check it out? He thought about it carefully. I think it's better to go for a trip. Because as far as Fang Bing knows, since Thor has been netized, that Asgard's fairy palace warrior, including Loki, will come to Earth one after another. You can try it. Is there an opportunity to get some benefits? Besides, Fang Bing also wanted to see the real Thor, god of Thor, in this universe with his own eyes. Is it also as stupid and cute as in the movie? It's no different from Era. Because it feels like it's going to be more dangerous there. You may also encounter Loki's old enemy. Fang Bing didn't take Sky with him this time. So he flew alone in a Kuan-style fighter to New Mexico City. Arrived in New Mexico, Fang Bing flew towards the place where the bald chief told him. It didn't take long to fly, and sure enough, I saw a large circular pit that was smashed out by Mjolnir. At the moment, the hammer has been isolated by the people of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are setting up experimental camps. Kuan-type fighters fell from the sky. Immediately a shrill alarm sounded in the camp. Without waiting for the guards to come forward and ask, Nick. Fury and Natasha had already come out to greet him, also following are Iron Man and Hawkeye. Fang Bing didn't expect Iron Man to come to New Mexico. The original thing is developing. Iron Man didn't show up at all, did he? But Fang Bing didn't care too much. After all, Iron Man is also now a member of the Avengers. Such an amazing thing happened. Nick. It's normal for Fury to ask him to study it. After greeting a few people, Fang Bing was ready to go see Thor's Mjolnir first. I came to the pit where the hammer fell to the ground and saw that the hammer was sinking into the dirt. The metal hammer face is imprinted with runes. Even those who have no knowledge can see that this is not an ordinary product. Can you pick up this hammer? We've all tried, and none of them worked. Natasha still exuded her charm with nowhere to place, and asked Fang Bing and Iron Man. I'll try. Iron Man couldn't help at first. He also just arrived here. Only Fang Bing came a little earlier. Haven't had time to study this hammer yet. It's amazing to hear this hammer. Not trying it himself simply tickles him. He summoned the armor, stepped forward and held the handle of the hammer. Lift up with all your strength. The hammer didn't move. He was not convinced. A hammer is a little bigger. How could it not be mentioned? Jarvis, activate airplane mode, full speed reverse jet. Iron Man then turned on the maximum power of the arc reactor and tried to pull it up. To his surprise, the hammer is still not moving. Fact. It's not scientific. My Mark Warframe can fly with 5 tons of items, but I can't make this hammer move, Iron Man scolded and said unpleasantly. No matter how hard you try, you can't pick it up, because this hammer is cursed by Odin. Fang Bing almost burst out loud when he saw it, and couldn't help but remind. Odin? Father of the gods in Norse mythology? You're not kidding, are you? Iron Man was surprised and surprised. The others around also had incredible expressions. The science-worshipping Iron Man doesn't quite believe that there are gods in this world. He was a true materialist. But thinking that this person next to me is still a magician. My heart is calm. Strictly speaking, they are not gods, just an alien race stronger than humans. After Fang Bing finished speaking, he also stepped forward and held the handle of the hammer. Because I've been meditating for a while. Mental power enhancement, there is also cosmic energy in the body. The moment he held it, he sensed Odin's spell on the hammer. But he only sensed it. The curse cast by Odin himself, it's not something that a half-hanging mage like him can lift. But he also wanted to see if he could shake this Mjolnir with his own power. Because Fang Bing wanted to test it, the gap between himself and the father of the gods. Permanently pull the whole body strength upwards. Motionless. Fang Bing had just obtained the divine power LV5 from the abomination. The power may have surpassed that of the Hulk. But still can't shake the hammer. Now he could understand why the Hulk couldn't pull out Mjolnir later. He also finally understood the gap between his own power and Odin's. It's not too far off. However, Fang Bing was not discouraged. Because Odin is the king of the universe who was killed 5,000 years ago. If Odin had not retired after unifying the 9 realms that year. Later, it was not the turn of the rise of the 3 major empires of the universe. What Kree, Skuru are just little brothers in front of Odin. What's more, Fang Bing had a terrible guess. That is, Odin once owned the Infinity Gauntlet with 6 Infinity Stones. Fang Bing's guess was grounded. First, there has long been an imitation of the Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's treasury, indicating that he has seen the real thing for a long time. Second, the dwarf king who later created the Infinity Gauntlet for Thanos was Odin's subordinate. Third, Odin's son Thor and eldest daughter Hela are not the same mother. Thor's mother Frigga is only Odin's new queen, so where did Hela's biological mother go? Was it sacrificed by Odin to get the soul gem? If that's really the case. Fang Bing didn't believe that Odin would really be stabbed to death by his eldest daughter Hela in the future. He may also be like the ancient mage later, just suspended animation. Then this person is terrible. More terrifying than the ancient mage. Because the ancient one mage is the guardian of the earth. And Odin was once the destroyer of cosmic civilization. But all this is just Fang Bing's guess, combined with the memories of his previous life. He couldn't be sure what kind of person Odin really was. Maybe Odin is really getting old now. Maybe you fell into Odin's sleep? Episode 58, 8 o'clock in the evening. Mjolnir's hammer pendant. Temporary bases around the landing have been built. Fang Bing and Iron Man drank and chatted in the base. They were waiting for Thor's arrival. That's right. Under the soft and hard bubble of Natasha and Iron Man, Fang Bing had already told them the owner of this hammer tonight, Thor, may come and steal the hammer. He didn't reveal anything else. Since Odin may be a dangerous person. That Fang Bing was not ready to change Thor's next experience. Because if Odin is not so simple. Then he chased the thunder god Thor nether, it's not to punish him. And probably to let Thor wake up sooner, temper more and become the future king of Asgard as soon as possible. A trial set up on purpose. If that's the case. That Fang Bing can't easily intervene. Otherwise, Odin found himself in Asgard ruining his son's trials. That means maybe something will be done. But tell S.H.I.E.L.D. that Thor will come and steal the hammer, but it doesn't change anything at all. Because no matter what, Thor will all be caught. Identities will be exposed. So everyone waited together, prepared to see the arrival of the god of thunder in Fang Bing's mouth. Drink for 2 hours. Finally, it was not until 10 o'clock in the evening that Thor arrived. Nick. Fury had told the agents in advance. Don't resist. That's Thor. Let him in. This hammer is of little use to S.H.I.E.L.D. anyway. Thor, if really comes. Then let him take it directly. S.H.I.E.L.D. is also less troublesome. If possible, Nick. Fury also wanted to ask for contact information with this Thor nursery. It is convenient to ask him for help in times of crisis. Just like he and Captain Marvel. After all, Thor is a god, can't be weaker than Captain Marvel, right? So, when Thor arrived. No one cares about him at all. Let him sneak up next to the hammer. And at this time, Fang Bing, Iron Man, and others are nearby. Wait to see the legendary Thor unfold its might. And then they saw it. A scruffy man ran in. See the hammer in the pit. Coming up with an excited face, he gripped the handle of the hammer. This is Thor? Fang Bing, you are a magician, and you are not a magician, why do you still fool people? The bald chief looked at Fang Bing and said. Fang Bing ignored him. Still carefully observing Thor. Because Fang Bing knew that Thor would look like this. I also know that he will definitely not be able to pull the hammer. The reason why Fang Bing is watching here now. Just to see for yourself what the legendary Asgardians were like. Is it different from his memory? It is convenient for him to implement the plan after that. And then. The bald chief and others saw it. The scruffy man downstairs found that he could not easily pick up the hammer. Start pulling the hammer with all your strength. But tossed for half a day. The hammer never moved. In vain. It was raining heavily. Thor, the god of thunder, lay down in a puddle around the hammer. The heart is like ashes. He even wanted to cry. He felt abandoned by the world. The bald chief and others saw this. They agreed that it was definitely Fang Bing who fooled them. Can such a psychotic homeless man be the legendary god of Thor? Can't do it anymore. Nick. Fury looked at Fang Bing. But Fang Bing ignored him. Turn around and leave. Nick. Fury could only let the agents out. Take Thor to the interrogation room. Ask who this man really is. If only it were just an ordinary bum. Hurry up and send people away. After Thor entered the interrogation room, SHIELD agents went in and asked a few questions. But Thor said nothing. Still immersed in their own grief. After the agents left, Fang Bing knew that it was time for him to make a move. He pretends to be an ordinary agent. Brought a pot of coffee. And a couple of sandwiches. Entered the interrogation room. After putting down the food made by the gourmet maker. Left immediately. This was Fang Bing's plan. Nothing meddles. Only with the help of SHIELD to reach the Asgardians. Find opportunities to acquire their abilities. Sure enough, as Fang Bing expected. When he just walked out the door. Thor in the interrogation room sniffled. I smelled the coffee and sandwiches on the table in front of me. It was also his first time on Earth. Never eaten food from the Earth. I don't know what food is in front of me. But he only felt so fragrant and wanted to eat. The heart was full of sadness. Grab the coffee and take a few sips and you're done. A few sandwiches were all taken by him in 2 or 3 bites. Eat clean. Fang Bing stayed in the side room. A list of Thor abilities has been obtained. But the moment he saw the list of abilities, I knew I had miscalculated. Thor. Asgardian Royal Family. Asgardian Royal Family Divine Body. Special, as an Asgard royal family, he has a long life, strong resilience and defense, can quickly become stronger in the grind, the older the stronger the strength. Thor's Force. Unactivated, he is a natural god of thunder and lightning control, but he has not yet awakened the power of thunder and lightning. Super Physique LV8. Seal, as an Asgardian royal family, he has a physique far beyond ordinary Asgardian warriors. Divine Power LV4. Seal, as an Asgardian royal family, he is born with divine power and has a power far beyond ordinary Asgardians. Super Melee Combat LV9, he has honed his super melee fighting skills in his long fighting career. Fang Bing was numb. Because he knew to see the list of Thor's abilities. Only to remember when Thor was left behind by Odin, special abilities have been sealed. Only if Thor meets Odin's requirements. I have the responsibility of being a king in my heart. To automatically remove these seals. Of all abilities, Thor's power is in an inactivated state. It was because Thor had not awakened in the first place. Now Thor, away from Mjolnir. It is simply impossible to unleash any Thor power. Only on Mjolnir. So now he's just a hammer god. The others are outside the Asgardian gods. The ability to be useful for each other's ice. All of them were sealed. Miscalculated. Miscalculated. Counted down this way. If you can't draw the Asgardian royal body at once. That's on Thor. The first opportunity to draw 100% of the ability was completely wasted. I'll want to draw Thor's ability later. You'll have to find a way to keep feeding. Come on. That's it. Smoke it. Episode 59. Congratulations on obtaining the Asgardian royal family. Special. Fang Bing was stunned. Thor, the Tu Ha, also lived for 1500 years. There are more than 100 abilities on the body. He actually shot into the soul to the only Asgard royal divine body that was not sealed. This luck is also too good. The Asgardian royal divine body is very useful to him. It is different from the eternal drive of the Eternals. The Eternals are just bionic robots, created by the celestial god race. And the Asgardians were bred naturally, a well-deserved strong man in the universe. So after Fang Bing obtained the Asgardian divine body, there are no side effects or hidden dangers. Thor's Asgardian royal body. It's even rarer. Only the lineage of Odin's lineage can have it. What Fang Bing knew. A person who possesses this royal divine body. There are also only Odin and Thor. And those who are still imprisoned by Odin, Thor's sister, the goddess Hela. This royal divine body is even more powerful. According to legend, before Odin unified the 9 realms, he had personally killed several celestial gods of the celestial god clan. And Odin's eldest daughter, Hela, even if it has been imprisoned for thousands of years, later, when he got out of trouble, he could also directly crush Mjolnir. After Fang Bing obtained the Asgard royal family divine body, it was turned on without hesitation. Suddenly, I felt a warm current rushing through my body. All aspects of the body are strengthened. Originally, his super physique was even stronger. I can also live at most 100 or 200 years old. Look at the American team and find out later. Although it also has a super physique. But only a few decades later. He was already full of gray hair and became an old man with vicissitudes. But now, Fang Bing had already felt that the speed of aging in his body became extremely slow. Increased physical vitality. He felt like he was doing nothing now. If you lie flat, you can live for thousands of years. Immortality, it is not the main ability of the Asgard royal family body that Fang Bing has just acquired. The most important thing is that he can also become stronger quickly with time and tempering like Thor. Fang Bing knew, over time. His physique and strength, even the energy in the body, even if you don't practice, you will always become stronger. No wonder. Thor is still a hammer god. Without the hammer, even the power of Thor cannot be used. But not long after. He can withstand the power of the heart core of the entire planet without dying. Also cut Thanos with an axe. You can see the potential of the Asgard royal family. Awesome. Fang Bing couldn't help but shout in his heart. Sincere, thanks Thor, contributed such an important ability to himself. Looking at Thor, who was licking plates in the interrogation room, Fang Bing considered whether to send something to this great hero again. Poor baby. How much has suffered in Asgard all these years, the hungry are licking the plates. Dear brother, you really lost the face of the Asgardians. A person appeared out of thin air in the interrogation room. It was Thor's younger brother. The first mage of the 9 realms. Loki, the god of trickery. Loki just appeared. See Thor licking the plate. I don't know whether to be happy or angry. Although Loki does not want Thor to return to Asgard to compete with him for the throne. I didn't want to embarrass the god of Thor in Asgard. Ah, Loki, here you are. Is father still angry with me? I know that my divine power is gone, take me to see my father and let me go back. Thor's abilities are sealed. It wasn't until Loki spoke up that he found out that his brother had also come to the mortal world. Quickly asked Loki to help him return to Asgard. But how could Loki possibly let him go back? Thor was banished to the mortal world for attacking the frost giant. He instigated it. In order to sit on the throne of Asgard. Now Asgard Central. Odin inexplicably fell into Odin's sleep and fell unconscious. Thor was deprived of his divine power again and trapped in the mortal world. Loki sings, this is a good opportunity to ascend the throne of Asgard. So Loki started performing. Thor. Wake up, father is already mad at you. I have been crowned the new king of Asgard. Before leaving, father also said that in order to punish you for your recklessness, you will never be allowed to return to Asgard. In order for Thor to be honest on Earth. Loki not only tricked Thor into saying that Odin was dead, he also forged Odin's royal decree. Sure enough, as Loki expected. When Thor heard the news, he completely closed himself. He believes he killed Odin. Decided to stay on Earth for the rest of his life to atone for his sins. Fang Bing heard this in the other room. I know I won't act again. Loki is leaving. That's right. He also wants to try again today to get Loki's ability. Serve 2 plates of dessert. Fang Bing pretended to be an S.H.I.E.L.D. agent again. Walked into the interrogation room. Interrogation room, Loki saw Fang Bing, who pushed the door in. There was no reaction at all. Because he now has stealth spells unleashed on himself. Mortals can't see him at all. But Fang Bing is obviously not an ordinary person. He also practiced meditation. After getting in, saw Loki at a glance. But he still pretended that there was no one opposite Thor. Put down the 2 plates of dessert in the middle of the table and leave. As for why you put 2 plates. Because he was afraid to put only 1 plate, will be directly eaten by Thor alone. Loki saw that Thor was in the mortal world, and someone offered to bring him food. I thought about it with a little comfort. In fact, all he always wanted was the throne of Asgard. And the favor of his father Odin. And for the older brother Thor, who grew up together. There are also feelings. Now Thor can't compete with him for the throne. He was also happy to see his brother doing a better life in the mortal world. These mortals are very respectful to you, then I will be at ease with your life on Earth. Huh? What kind of food is this? Why never seen in Asgard? Episode 60. Loki also lived more than 1,000 years though. But the same as Thor. Never been to Earth. Didn't try food on Earth. For the first time I smelled the food made by Fang Bing using a gourmet maker. Suddenly it was a little overhead. Loki reached for a plate of dessert. Taste what kind of food can give off such an enticing aroma. But he miscalculated. Fang Bing also miscalculated. Thor, who had just had coffee and a sandwich. Seeing the person who brought him food before, 2 more plates of food were brought in. And the fragrance is just as tempting as before. With lightning speed, pull both plates of dessert in front of you. Pick it up and stuff it into your mouth. Loki froze. He wanted to open his mouth to let Thor divide some of him. But the pride in his heart made him unable to open this mouth. Watching Thor gulp so fragrantly. The mouth can't help but start secreting saliva. Swallow quietly. Seeing that Thor was about to finish eating. Loki held back the inexplicable anger in his heart. Faintly opened his mouth to mock, what is delicious about mortal food? Thor, what about your demeanor as an Asgard royal family? Oh, by the way, you don't have divine power now, no wonder it became like this. He had thought Thor would argue with him. But Thor ignored it. Like Era, he continued to cook without lifting his head. Haha. Refreshing. Delicious. Thor finally finished eating 2 plates of dessert and shouted in satisfaction. The residue at the bottom of the plate is also dipped in your fingers and eaten. Finally, he licked the bottom of the plate. Only then did he raise his head to look at Loki. What were you talking about? I didn't hear. The food of the atrium mortals is so delicious. Maybe it's good to stay in the atrium. Loki was on fire. But I don't know who to lash at. Do you want to kill this brother who grabbed food in front of him? He can't get his hands on it. He could only disappear into the interrogation room, depressed. Back to Asgard. Because Odin enters Odin's sleep. The eldest daughter, Hela, was imprisoned. The eldest son, Thor, was banished. So he became the sole heir to the throne in Asgard. He has decided. Go back and crown yourself king. Then let these mortals in the atrium sacrifice 1,000 cooks for themselves. Fang Bing gritted his teeth angrily outside. I can't wait to go in and hammer Thor's goods. He deliberately brought in 2 plates. It's afraid that Thor will eat alone. But I never expected it. This guy actually did this. Both plates were eaten. You as a royal family of Asgard. Where did the kingly temperament go? Royal etiquette learned in vain? Didn't Odin teach you that there are good things to share between brothers? Who did you learn from this problem of eating alone? Ancient One? For Thor's sake, he had just contributed the Asgardian royal body to himself. Also for Odin's sake. Fang Bing decided to put up with it. First spared Thor, the air hammer god, a dog's life. As for Loki's ability extraction. Just wait a little longer. Later, Jarita's invaded Earth. It's Loki's handwriting. That's when he'll show up. At that time, Fang Bing decided that if Loki did not give himself face. Honestly accept your own feeding. Then don't blame yourself for sticking it in. After Loki left. It didn't take long. When Thor fell to Earth, people he knew came to the door. The visitor was Eric, PhD in astronomy. It was he and 2 female assistants who picked up Thor. Thor was sent to the hospital. He also developed a certain friendship with Thor. This time came to the temporary base set up by S.H.I.E.L.D. Just to save Thor. The 3 of them had heard Thor say he was Thor. From the Asgard Nether. Need to get your hammer back. To restore divine power. So thought that Thor was seized by S.H.I.E.L.D. for stealing the hammer. Only then did Dr. Eric come and rescue Thor. S.H.I.E.L.D. Everyone. Because you can't see Loki's arrival at all. They didn't want to embarrass this thunder god in Fang Bing's mouth, the psychotic homeless man in their eyes. Directly release Thor. Let Dr. Eric take it. As for Fang Bing, and watched from the sidelines. There is absolutely no intention of meddling. But he had already planned what would happen next. According to his memory. Just tomorrow. Thor's friends in Asgard. 4 warriors of Sengu. The Nether will look for Thor. The Destroyer will also come to Earth. But that's still tomorrow. Now Fang Bing has something more important to do. That was to hurry home and comfort Sky. Sky has already called him several times. Strongly protested that he left alone without saying a word. Fang Bing opened the portal. Teleport directly home. Before he flew a Kunming fighter to New Mexico, it's because he's never been there before. You can't open the portal over there. Kaiken fighters used to be faster. Now after he has been, you can directly teleport back and forth. Kun fighters can also stay directly over there. Next time I go to another strange place, just open the door and teleport into the Kun-type fighter. Fang Bing had just walked out of the portal. A fragrant and soft girl threw herself into his arms. Fang Bing, you are a big liar, you said before that you would not leave me alone. Sky said angrily. Alive like an abandoned little daughter-in-law. Fang Bing touched her head helplessly. I didn't just leave for less than a day. When did Sky become so clingy? Again, when did he say that again? Woman. What a hassle. The next day. Thor's 4 best friends in Asgard. 4 warriors of Sengu. Because it was discovered that Loki had usurped the throne. Came to the atrium to find Thor. They were ready to take Thor back to Asgard. Mess right anyway. Remove Loki from the throne. Heimdall, who guards the Rainbow Bridge, is also dissatisfied with Loki's usurpation of the throne. Put the 4 warriors of the Immortal Palace Nether. The 4 soon find Thor in the town. Thor. I need you to come back with us to stop Loki from usurping the throne. After several warm hugs, Sif, the warrior of the Immortal Palace, said to Thor when they met. Forget it, my father passed the throne to him before he died, and I don't want to fight with him anymore. Thor, who was originally happy to see his friends. Hearing Sif's words, he became depressed again. What? But your father is not dead. Thor heard the news brought by the 4 warriors of the Immortal Palace. Only then did he realize that it was Loki who had deceived himself. Meanwhile, Loki has taken the throne of Asgard. It was discovered that the 4 warriors of the Immortal Palace secretly went to the Nether to find Thor. At boiling point. Obviously I am already the king of Asgard. Why are you going to find that Thor, that idiot? You all deserve to die. Full of anger, Loki. Use the Ice Giant's artifact Winter's box from Odin's treasury. Freeze the Rainbow Bridge guard Heimdall. Picked up Odin's scepter again. Found the destroyer guarding the treasury. In the name of Odin. Order the destroyer to go to the atrium. Go and kill Thor, the only one who can compete with him for the throne. And those betrayers. The destroyer is an artifact. It is the magic armor that once accompanied Odin on his journey to the universe. It's not just made of extremely rare cosmic metal. It was even given Odin divine power by Odin. So, it doesn't even need to cross the Rainbow Bridge to Nether. A moment later, the destroyer has come to Earth. Its arrival caused drastic changes in the weather. Black clouds cover the sky. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. This side of town. Now Coulson, a level 8 agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., is in charge of the big picture. And S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury. After seeing Thor like a fool yesterday, unable to pull out the hammer. Just left. After all, he is a busy man. It is impossible to spend time on one thing. And Coulson is a very cautious man. After he discovered a vision that suddenly appeared in the sky. The people of S.H.I.E.L.D. did not rush up to investigate. Rather, when the vision first appeared. Just make an immediate order. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents hurriedly evacuated ordinary people nearby. And at this time, the movements of the destroyer Nether have long been discovered by Thor and the 4 warriors of the Immortal Palace. They have come to the front of the town, waiting to face the coming destroyer. Of course, Fang Bing also came. This time he brought Sky. Because Fang Bing knows the subsequent plot development. It is also known that Loki has returned to Asgard. Without Loki, who is proficient in illusion, he also likes to play with the god of trickery who stabs people in the back. Fang Bing didn't have any scruples. He took her with him at Sky's pleas. Come and see Thor versus destroyers. Give her a long insight. Of course, it's just a look. He had no intention of making a move. I also feel that I have no reason to make a move. He came here for only one purpose from beginning to end. That is to acquire capabilities and improve strength. Although there was no successful feeding of Loki yesterday. But aren't there still 4 immortal palace warriors right now? It was far away from Fang Bing and Sky standing, waiting to see the good show of Thor vs. Destroyer. Suddenly a man rushed into the sky. Flew to the destroyer. The one who rushed forward. It was Iron Man in Mark's armor. See the destroyer step by step into town. He didn't know who the destroyer was targeting. Not as familiar with subsequent development as Fang Bing. He considers himself a superhero. Where can you endure? Just like that, I rushed straight up. Want to take down this huge mech monster. This scene surprised Fang Bing. Because the original is developing. Iron Man didn't come to New Mexico City because he didn't come to New Mexico City. Didn't hit the destroyer at all. Grass. Fang Bing scolded secretly. He found that the longer he stayed in the world, the longer he was. What happened in this world was worse and farther away from what he remembered. And so on. He knows the plot well and predicts the future, and the advantage is about to disappear. In case Iron Man takes out the destroyer. Isn't Thor going to be sealed further? In case the destroyer takes out Iron Man. Then it's time to move yourself. Because without Iron Man, New York would be nuclear leveled. After everything is out of order. At that time, it was impossible for Fang Bing to know where it was safe. In case the future Thanos goes crazy. I don't think it's enough to kill half of the people for cosmic family planning. What if you snap your fingers twice and kill all the people in the universe? Never mind. Let's take it one step at a time. Putting strength up first is the most important thing. If you can reach Odin's level. Who could have destroyed him with a snap of his fingers? Far away in Asgard. Loki, who controls the destroyer remotely. Watch a man fly towards the destroyer. Originally, I was shocked. Thinking it was his brother Thor who suddenly regained his divine power. Take a closer look. Only to find out that it was just a flying metal man. Immediately disdainful. The technology of the Earthlings is much worse than that of Asgard. He didn't think about this metal man who didn't measure himself up in the slightest. What threat can be posed to the destroyer? But Loki is the prince of Asgard. As the god of trickery in the mouth of the 9 realms. How can an ordinary Earthling be tolerated to provoke him? Boom. Loki's mind moved. The destroyers of the earth were instantly filled with fire. A magic ray shot out of its eye. Hit Iron Man, who was still flying towards it in midair. Okay. Iron Man noticed the change in Destroyer's eyes in advance. Narrowly avoided the blow. And then he didn't care to get any closer. All fire was poured directly at the Destroyer. What tracks missiles, cannons, energy beams. I used it in seconds. It's a pity. Except that the tracking missile knocked the Destroyer crookedly. Other Earth weapons carried by the Mark Warframe. It didn't hurt the Destroyer in the slightest. But Iron Man's attack. But it annoyed Loki even more. Thereupon, the Destroyer began to shoot magic rays with his eyes. One by one. Iron Man quickly hid in the air. But magic rays are extremely fast. How could it be completely hidden? A few seconds later, Iron Man was hit by one of the magic rays. Fall far from the air. Lost the ability to fight. And if it weren't for the latest Mark armor he was wearing, doped with vibranium that had just come from the bald director. With this blow, he was finished. Loki saw the hit. I don't feel the metal man at all. Can survive a destroyer hit. Thereupon, he then controlled the destroyer. Continue step by step towards town. See this. Instead, Fang Bing was happy in his heart. This means that things are back on track. He can continue with his original plan.